we're all kind of moving along, and it's the end of January, and a lot of people have probably had January goals, and they're already kind of falling behind. Totally get it. This happens a lot. It's like you're waiting to do something at the end of the year, you start 1st of January, and then that enthusiasm, that motivation just wanes, and you end up kind of losing sight of your goal, and then you feel even worse than you did before. And so you're really looking forward to the next December that you can kind of plan towards doing something big in January. Forget about big. It's all about the small changes. If you look at all the different areas of your life, you're probably going to, if you Google this right now, you come up with health, fitness, spirituality, personal growth, family, relationships, love, time, finances, work, etc., etc. There's probably 15, 20 different regions. The main part of that, probably 5 of them, are to do with health, fitness, wellness, and words like that essentially mean you taking care of your body. And I think that if you take care of your body and you just focus on first thing in the day, ticking that box, your finances are going to take care of themselves pretty quickly, because the discipline, the tenacity, the productivity, the creativity that you get from doing your fitness on a repeated basis, so it's consistent and there's that discipline there, that's going to cross over into your career or into your business. And so you'll find yourself, your finances, that box will be ticked. When you're a better person, when you're doing sport on a regular basis, or you're doing your fitness, or you're running on a regular basis, you find yourself happier. There's chemicals in your brain that are released to make you feel happier, and that's going to make you a better person to be around. So all of a sudden, it's not magic, all of a sudden, you find yourself better with your family. You maybe get to a point in your 20s or 30s where you actually start to understand your family members that you didn't previously. And maybe there was some friction before, but you get to a point where you're like, you know what, we're different, but this is how we can work together. And it works like that really well. And once you've kind of got a few of those boxes in line, so the fitness, I'd always start from fitness. Start from that, and then naturally finances, career, business gets on track because you're inserting that discipline and consistency. Once you've got a few of those boxes aligned, you actually get to a point in your life where you know who you are. You have a deep understanding of who you are. It's crazy. Like, most people want to go on adventures, they want to go exploring. And part of that's great. You know, most of my spiritual growth, if I can talk about it like that, has come from sort of spending a long time in Nepal, spending a long time cyclotouring in Asia, where you spend a long time on your own and you get to know yourself deeply. But I think that a lot of people in the late 20s and even 30s and even 40s and for the rest of their life, they don't actually get to know themselves that well because they're constantly around other people. So not spending that time alone has led to a confusion. And maybe people get married really quickly and all of a sudden they are kind of a mold of 2 different people, and what they think is actually not what they think, and their opinions are not their own, but it's a culmination of the 2 people. So I would say that get those boxes, get your ducks in a row, your fitness goals, then your career and finances and your business will follow suit, and then your family and your friends, your relationships, that all follows through because you've got your act together. You're somebody who gets stuff done, and you're somebody who, most importantly, knows themselves really well, so they know what they like and what they don't like. And they know that life is short, and you don't spend time on stuff that you don't like doing. You don't spend time on stuff that doesn't excite you. You spend as much time as possible on passion projects and things that excite you, whether it's leisure things, whether it's kind of your spare time, or whether it's in business, or whether it's in your work. You're not going to take a job that doesn't excite you because you realize you need to do that for 40 to 60 hours a week, and that's going to crush your soul if you continue to do it. So you only go for jobs where you know it's going to make you excited to get out of bed in the morning, to hit your fitness goal, and then get to work. Exactly the same with business. You're only going to be focused on something that literally your eyes light up when you talk about it. It's so important. Because once all those things are in line, it becomes really easy. Because once you know yourself, deeply know yourself, and we're constantly self-developing, so it's never a kind of finish line and then all of a sudden you've cracked the code. It will always be, and you're always changing. But once you get to that point, it's so much more easier to pick somebody, to pick a partner who you actually want to spend most of your days with, most of your weeks with. It's so important because then you know what you like and don't like. You know the things that you've learned, the things that irritate you over time. You know the things that you really appreciate. And then the last thing I would add is, it's kind of like the secret, but for me, I've traveled around a lot. I've seen a lot of the world, and I've seen a lot that what you get to know is that people are generally the same everywhere you go. Yes, there's different cultures, different religions, and there's different ways of doing things, but essentially, people want a good life for themselves, their children, and they want a better tomorrow for their children. It's that simple. So they're kind of running away from fear and running towards happiness and running towards safety and that type of thing. And once you realize that the whole world is pretty much the same, people are very much the same everywhere you go, then you will realize, what was I going to say? Then you will realize that it's actually the small things that make you really happy. You can work towards something really big, like January, a brand new start in January. You can work towards a new car or a new house or whatever. And then you get those things and you realize very quickly that actually compared to everything that I was working towards, and this is scientifically proven, but compared to everything that I was working towards and all the excitement that I had towards this new sports car, it's actually okay, but it's not all that I made it out to be. And it's exactly the same with a new house, exactly the same with big things, big changes in your life. So the secret for me has always been, enjoy the small things. Like take time, like buy a watermelon or buy a papaya and really enjoy eating it. Like really kind of savor that moment and enjoy those small things. Go out for dinner, not somewhere fancy, but somewhere cheap that has a great atmosphere and just totally be in the moment and enjoy it. Those tiny little things, maybe a walk on the beach and you can feel the sand between your toes. It's that type of thing that if you can get enjoyment from that, imagine the enjoyment you get from the big things, which really aren't the big thing. It's the small things that are the big things. Hopefully that's not too confusing. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you today.